Model Tech family. So glad to have you guys waiting on me to get here. Yeah, I saw y'all online already. Yeah. Ba, 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 ba. Yeah. Yeah. It's so wonderful to be among the land of the living. Another day. Yeah. Yes. And by the way, I do own the rights to this music, written and performed by yours truly. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Text 10 people. Let them know that we're live and for real. Ah. Yes. Well, I found out that I can be myself, and I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Well, I found out that I can be myself, and I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Yes. That's the late Eric Allen on saxophone. Come on, family, join in with me. You should know this now. So glad I can be myself. It really is good to know that I don't have to be nobody else. I'm so glad I can be myself. I have peace because I don't have to be nobody else. It feels so nice to be free. Yeah. I can really be me. I'm so glad I can be myself. Yeah. Sure is good to know that I don't have to be nobody else. Come on, let's take it home now, right? Yeah. Well, I found out that I can be myself, and I'm so glad. I'm so glad, yeah. Well, I found out that I can be myself, and I'm so glad. I'm so glad, yes. I found out. I can be myself, yeah, yeah, and I'm so glad. Yes, family, I'm so glad I can be myself. Well, family, welcome to another online Njia Fellowship of the African Village and Cultural Center. I'm Ray Hagins, Chief Elder and Spiritual Teacher of the African Village, and I'm so glad that you guys have joined me for another time of fellowship and fun. Yeah, man, I hope you've had a wonderful week this week, and I trust that you guys are staying safe out there. Okay, don't get it twisted. All right, this pandemic is still very much alive and well, so stay safe, take care of yourself, protect yourself, right? But right now, let's open up with one more time. God allowed us to come together one more time. So come on, sing it like you mean it, man. Yeah, okay? One more time. Yeah, everybody, come on, say it. Come on. One more time. One more time. God allowed us to come together. One more time. One more time. One more time. God allowed us to come together. One more time. God allowed us to come together one more time, just one more time. God allowed us to come together one more time, one more time, one more time. God allowed us to come together. God allowed us, yeah, to come together to praise God's name, to praise God's name. God allowed us to come together to praise His name. Praise God's name, to praise God's name. God allowed us to come together. God allowed us, yeah, to come together to sing our song, to sing our song. God allowed us to come together to sing our song, to sing our song, yes, to sing our song. God allowed us to come together to sing our. God allowed us, yeah, to come together. Now let's put those hands together to clap our hands. Come on, everybody, to clap our hands. God allowed us to come together to clap our hands, to clap our hands, to clap our hands. God allowed us to come together, clap our. God allowed us, yeah, yeah. Everybody say one more time, just one more time. God allowed us to come together one more time, one more time, one more time. Oh, God allowed us, God allowed us, hey, to come together one more time. God allowed us, yeah, just to praise His name. God allowed us, yeah. He's been so good and kind. God allowed us. Yeah. Oh, yes, he did. God allowed us. God allowed us. God allowed us to come together one more time, one more time. God allowed us to come together one more time, brothers and sisters, and I'm grateful about that. And I trust that you are too. I hope that you don't take it for granted, man. You know, so many people are leaving this earth, you know, lately because of COVID and, of course, other reasons as well. But here we are. The Almighty has allowed us another opportunity to come together in fellowship one with another. Even though it's electronically and virtually, I can still feel your presence because I see your names on the screen here. Those of you who have logged on to be with us today. Oh my goodness, it's a wonderful thing. And I'm so glad, brothers and sisters, that you guys have made time to be with me. And again, I thank you for taking time to be with me out of your schedule, okay? And also, I'd like to say thank you to those of you who started sending in your donations early this morning, okay? Hours ago, all right? My brother Tom from St. Louis, man, thank you, brother. Okay, others who have sent in your donations, I have it on the phone. I'm not looking at the names now, but I thank you for your support. You know, thank you for being here faithfully and loyally every week. Oh my goodness, brother, it's wonderful. Thank you, sisters. Thank you, brothers, for being with me, right? Well, before going any further, we must take a moment to honor our ancestors at this time, okay? So, brothers, if you will, come on and join in with me. Sisters, if you will, join in with us as well as we lift our voices together and do the oath to the ancestors, all right? Join in with the brothers and myself. Yes, as we honor those who have made their transition, gone into the ancestral realm, okay? Yeah. Say it along with us. Come on, everybody. O ancestors, blacker than 1,000 midnights, African ancestors, it is to you that we, your children, give respect and honor. O ancestors, we call upon you and welcome you in this place. African ancestors, let your presence fill this place. O ancestors, who have been purposely excluded from the history books so that the world would not know of your greatness. Our African ancestors, who gave civilization to the world. Our African ancestors, yes, who gave the arts to the world. Our African ancestors, who gave music to the world. Our African ancestors, who gave the sciences to the world. Our African ancestors, who gave mathematics to the world. Our African ancestors, who gave medicine to the world. Our African ancestors, who gave literature to the world. Our African ancestors, who gave philosophy to the world. Our African ancestors, who gave God consciousness to the world. Oh, ancestors, we thank you for devoting your life to make a future for us, your children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. Now stand with us, strengthen us, guide us, teach us, and protect us from the snare of our enemies. Rise up, O African ancestors, and let our enemies be scattered, and give us the wisdom and the boldness to deal with our oppressors and those who would hinder the liberation and empowerment of our people. Rise up, O African ancestors, and live in us, and we will not fail to honor you. We will not fail to respect you. We will not fail to hear you, and we will not betray you. Ashe. Yay, Yabo. And now, brothers and sisters, we want to take the time to honor just a few of the great Africans who have gone ahead of us. Yes. We call forth their great African names and honor them. To Pharaohs Narmer, Soldier, Sneferu, Khufu, Khafre, Menkaure, and the great vizier and physician and multi-genius Imhotep, we say Ashe. To Queen Nitocris, Queen Sobek Neferu, Queen Ahotep, Queen Amos,
honor their
Nefertari,
African names
Queen King
today.
Hatshepsut, Nefertiti, Queen T, and Queen Nefertari II. We
Yes.
say
Ashe.
Ashe. To Menkapen Tahuti Mays, known as Thutmose III, Amenhotep III,
Yes.
Akhenaten,
Yes.
Tutankhamun, Ursama Akra, Setepenra, Rametsu Meriamun, Ramses II,
Yes.
Shabaka, Taharka,
Yes.
Hannibal, and the great African warrior Shaka Zulu, we say
Ashe.
To all of the kings, queens,
Yes.
priests, and warriors of Nubia,
Mhm.
Waset, Ethiopia,
Yeah.
Kemet, Kenya, the Congo, Tanzania, Uganda, Central, South, and West Al-Kibu land, we say Ashe.
Yes.
To the more than 600 million Africans whose lives were lost in the European invasions of Africa and in the Middle Passage, we say Ashe. To the more than 300 million who have since lost their lives to racism and hate crimes, we say Ashe. To Harriet Tubman,
Ashe.
Frederick Douglass,
Ashe.
Mary McLeod Bethune,
Ashe.
Nat Turner,
Ashe.
Fannie Lou Hamer,
Ashe.
Sojourner Truth,
Ashe.
Carter G. Woodson,
Ashe.
Booker T. Washington,
Ashe.
Dr. Charles Drew,
Ashe.
Noble Drew Ali,
Ashe.
Benjamin Banneker,
Ashe.
George Washington Carver,
Ashe.
Bishop Richard Allen,
Ashe.
Bishop Charles Harrison Mason,
Ashe.
Howard Thurman,
Ashe.
Mother Mahalia Jackson,
Ashe.
the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey,
Ashe.
Benjamin E. Mays,
Ashe.
Langston Hughes,
Ashe.
Medgar Evers,
Ashe.
Paul Robeson,
Ashe.
Dr. Martin Luther King,
Ashe.
Malcolm X,
Ashe.
Thurgood Marshall,
Ashe.
Mother Clara Hale,
Ashe.
Adam Clayton Powell,
Ashe.
the Honorable Elijah Muhammad,
Ashe.
Dr. Amos Wilson,
Ashe.
Dr. John Henrik Clark,
Dr. Yusef
Dr. John G.
Ben-Jochannan,
Jackson, Dr. Shikanta
Dr.
Diop,
Asa Hilliard,
Dr. Chancellor Williams, Dr. George
Brother
G.
John
James,
Lewis,
Patrice Lumumba,
Brother DMX,
Kwame Ture,
Ashe.
Kwame Nkrumah,
Ashe.
Dr. Khalid Muhammad,
Ashe.
Dr. Jacob Carruthers,
Ashe.
Dr. Ishaka Musa Badashando,
Ashe.
Brother Ray Charles,
Ashe.
to our mothers and fathers,
Ashe.
our grandmothers and grandfathers,
Ashe.
to our great-grandmothers and
Ashe.
great-grandfathers,
Let's honor them
our
today.
brothers and sisters,
Ashe.
sons and daughters,
Ashe.
aunts and uncles,
Ashe.
nieces, nephews, cousins,
Ah, yes.
all those who have gone ahead of us and have made their ancestral transition
Yes, yes, yes.
to their life, deeds, legacy, and contributions, we say
Ashe.
Ashe. Again we say
Ashe.
Again we say
Ashe. Yeah, boy. Join in with me as we praise by saying Allahu Akbar. Oh yes, family. Allah. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Oh yeah, yeah. Allah. The English words are these. God is great and he's worthy to be praised. I say hallelujah. God is great and he's worthy to be praised. Yes. I say hallelujah. So God make us one. We all should be one. And then the unbelievers will come and say you are with us. God make us one. We all should be one. And then the unbelievers will come and say you are with us. God make us one. We all should be one. And then the unbelievers will come and say you are with us. Yes, yes, yes. Allahu Akbar. Allah. Yeah. Allahu Akbar. Hey. Allah. Oh yes, God, you're worthy to be praised. Oh, brothers and sisters,
You know, I am so grateful and thankful for the opportunity to give devotion every day. In fact, I do this devotion sometimes 2 or 3 times a day, and hey, man, it's just wonderful, to be able to come together as we are now in fellowship, in praise, and just give devotion like we are. Oh, family, once again, it's a blessing. It really is a blessing to join you and for you to join me right now. And I see the many of you who have logged on today. Thank you so much. It's very encouraging. And I also want to say thank you to the many of you who were logged on last week. Okay, when we did the message, if Christ be not risen, then what? In fact, I have to piggyback or veggie back off of last week's message because I received so many wonderful comments, but I also received comments of opposition and resistance to last week's message as well. So I want to deal with that spirit of resistance today. There are 3 R's, when truth is going forth. Those who don't know the truth, the first thing you experience is resistance to the truth, okay? The next thing that you experience is all-out retaliation. Write that down, resistance, retaliation. But then after a while, okay, when the truth has seeped into the fertile soil of the mind, of the soul, of the spirit, and people begin to ponder the truth of what they've heard, then they begin to experience what's called reception. Those are the 3 R's: resistance, retaliation, and then reception. Okay? So I want to deal with something today, and I want to call it living in the land of make-believe. Okay? And I know we didn't do our national anthem. Okay? We're not going to sing that today. I want to get right into the message today. Okay, we'll sing it next week. Okay, I want to get to the teaching today. And sometimes when the teaching is on me heavily like that, of course, I love doing our opening devotion. I'm going to always do that. Okay, but right now I want to get to the teaching. Okay, and I don't want to rush through it. So I want to take my time and as they say, let you out. Okay, like we're in a brick and mortar building, right? Let you out on time. All right. Okay, so let's deal with the teaching for today, and let's get to it. But before getting into the teaching, of course, I want you to do this. Make a circle with your fingers like this, okay? And repeat after me. Look at that circle and repeat after me and say, the space inside this circle represents my realm of knowledge. All that I think I know about whatever I think I know is depicted right here within this circle. I must keep in mind that there is more to know than what is within the circumference of my awareness. Okay, I really want you guys to let that sink in today, okay, because you're going to really need it today. All right. Okay, I'm telling you now. Okay, and I may say throughout the teaching today, remember your circle, remember your circle, remember your circle. Okay. Well, brothers and sisters, my objective today, okay, and as always when I teach, my objective is to begin the process of undoing and reversing ideas and concepts that have been programmed into the minds of our people by the religious statements and church doctrines that have caused us as a people to adopt a belief system, not a knowledge system, a belief system that has resulted in our loss of contact with what is real, our loss of contact with what is factual, our loss of contact with what is historical, and our loss of contact with what is spiritual. Yes, brothers and sisters. Okay, that's my purpose for doing what I do. That's my objective. That's my goal every day. Okay, Today I want to talk from the subject, living in the land of make-believe. Yes, living in the land of make-believe, okay? And again, I want to deal with this subject today as a result of the backlash and the resistance and the negative comments that I received from people from last week's message, if Christ be not risen, then what? You see, brothers and sisters, as a therapist, I'm a psychologist, so I try to understand the genesis of a person's behavior. You follow what I'm saying? I have to understand why a person is responding the way they do. You follow what I'm saying? Okay, instead of just retaliating, okay, or reacting to their comments like they're retaliating to my comments, okay, I have to try to understand them and then try my best to teach them if they'll receive it, so they can be free. So I'd like to begin the teaching today by telling you about an encounter that I had with a brother who was challenged by some of the things that I said to him. He was a Christian brother, and I could tell that he was very committed to what he believes, okay? I could tell that. And our conversation began, actually this happened outside of the bank that I bank at in Missouri, right? U.S. Bank. I was coming out of the bank, and this brother was behind me. He was coming out of the bank. And he said, "Excuse me, brother, excuse me." And I turned and looked at him. And he said, "Are you a preacher?" And of course, I wasn't dressed in a suit and tie and black or whatever. In fact, I had on jeans and probably a sweatshirt and sneakers that day. He said, "Are you a preacher?" And I said, "Why do you ask?" All right, do I look like a preacher? And he said, "There's something about you, man. There's something about your countenance. I can see the anointing all over you." That's what he said to me, right? And I said, well, I mean, since he said it like that, right? I said, yes, I'm a preacher. He said, "I knew it. I knew you was a preacher, man. I could see it." And then he asked me, "So, brother, what church do you go to?" And I told him, I said, "I'm the chief elder and spiritual leader of the African Village and Cultural Center." And as soon as I said African Village, y'all, and I'm not exaggerating, everything changed. His facial expression changed. It was all, happy at first, to meet what he called a brother, he said he saw the anointing all over him. He was all excited. But when I said African Village, his face said, his face twisted up a little bit. His posture changed, like his spine twisted. The tone of his voice changed. I mean, he went through this whole physiological change just because I said the African Village and Cultural Center, He repeated what I said, the African Village? Where's that at? What kind of church is that? When a person starts asking questions, right back to back like that, okay, something's happening inside them, So he said, "What kind of church is that?" I said, we're on Newstead Avenue, North Newstead Avenue, 1 block of Natural Bridge, and we're an African-centered congregation. That's what I told him, So I'm monitoring his manifestations of the manifestations of his cognitive dissonance, okay, which of course is causing his stress level to increase, okay. And of course, as a psychologist, as a therapist, I'm trained in noticing these things, right? So he says to me, "And you're the pastor?" I smiled and said, "Yes, I am." "So what do you teach?" he said. "Do you preach Jesus Christ and him crucified?" Now, mind you, he's changing on me. You're watching this dude go through a metamorphosis here, right? He said, "Do you preach Jesus Christ and him crucified?" And I said, "No, we don't preach Jesus and him crucified, brother." I'm trying to be as polite as possible. I see he's about to take off like a missile, right? So I'm trying to keep him calm by staying calm myself, right? I said, no, we don't preach Jesus and him crucified. And so he goes into this thing, and you the pastor? Well, what do you preach then? I said, brother, I'm trying to teach our people how to heal ourselves by reclaiming our ancient African story that was stolen from us, copied, plagiarized, and then represented back to us under the disguise of a European ethnicity, thereby preventing us from the power of self-awareness. And I took my time and said all that to him, right? Now, I knew that he didn't hear anything that I said after I did all that explaining just then. I knew he didn't hear anything I had just said because he was now in what I call his plead the blood of Jesus mode on me. Got me? Okay. Then he says, so if you don't preach Jesus, what do you believe then? Do you believe in Jesus? I told him, brother, with me, it isn't a matter of belief. It's a matter of fact. Okay? Understand that. Okay? And we got to get away from this believing. See, when y'all listen, when you believe a thing, that means you don't know a thing. Understand what I'm saying, right? So I began to try to teach the brother. All right? Because evidently he didn't know what I knew. Right. So I told him, he went into this thing of, so do you believe in Jesus? And I told him, I said, brother, in my research, instead of just saying no, because I know that would have messed up everything. But I said, brother, in my research, I have found that this man called Jesus Christ that we read about in the Bible, right? I told him, I said, in my research, I found that he came into existence by a vote of 318 Roman Catholic bishops under orders of the Roman Emperor Constantine at the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD. Now, mind you, I'm taking my time to break this down for this brother, right? And you know what he says to me? He said, so what you saying? I kind of looked away like I do right now, because in my mind, I'm saying, I just explained to this brother as plainly as I could, why I don't believe, but I know based on my research, right? So what you saying? Then he said it again, but louder. Do you believe that Jesus died for your sins? And it was at this point that I saw the opportunity to assume what I refer to as an offensive position in this matter, okay, instead of defensive, right? So I asked him, I said, brother, why do you need for Jesus to have existed? He said, what? I said, brother, why do you need for Jesus to have existed? He said, what you mean? I repeated the question again. I'm trying to make him think. I'm trying to get him to leave his emotions out of this. In fact, I probably need to say that to some of y'all right now. Leave your emotions out of this message today. Okay? Listen and learn. If you have a problem with what I'm saying, write it down. Do your research. I've always said that. Okay? Don't take my word for what I'm saying. Do your research, family. And if you find that what I've said is in error, then show me where I'm wrong. But do the research. So I asked him, brother, why do you have a need? And that's important. Why do you have a need for Jesus to have existed? He said, what you mean? So I repeated the question, and why do you need? And he says, because he's our hope, man. Now, mind you, he's getting physiologically very animated now, because he's our hope. He's our hope. He's my hope, man. Then he looked around. He said, without Jesus, man, ain't none of this real. Without him, we're lost. Without him, I'm lost. He's starting to get really upset. Lost, man. I said, brother, I understand what you're saying. I wanted to keep this brother from having a heart attack out there. I said, that's how deep this thing is for folk who are believers. Got me? Stevie said, when you believe in things you don't understand, then you suffer, because superstition ain't the way. So seeing that he was getting so emotionally messed up behind this conversation we were having, I said to him, I understand, brother. I actually put my hands, I said, I understand, brother. Then he said, you understand what I'm saying? I said, I told you I understand, brother. I hear you, man. That's what I said. It was deep. And that's why, brothers and sisters, I want to talk today from the title, Living in the Land of Make-Believe. Okay? And the reason for that is because the truth is simply unbelievable. All right? A message I did. The truth is unbelievable. You see, brothers and sisters, and I'm going to give you Ray Hagins' definition of truth. Truth is that which is consistent with fact and reality. Understand, write that down. Truth is that which is consistent with fact and reality, not that which is consistent with fables and lies and superstition. That's not truth. Truth is that which is consistent with fact and reality. And brothers and sisters, please understand something. Truth is not something that you believe. Truth is something that you know. The truth cannot be believed. It has to be known, brothers and sisters. Even the biblical text says in John, the 4th chapter, the 24th verse, it says, and you shall know the truth. Not you shall believe the truth, and you shall know the truth. And the truth shall make you free. Now, a major reason that we don't know the truth, family, and don't want to know the truth is because we were raised to live in a land of make-believe. Oh, follow me today. We grew up that way. Think back to your childhood, if you can remember back that far. Think back to your earliest memories. How many times have you said, let's make believe? You're playing games and you said, let's make believe that, let's make believe this, let's make believe that, right? When children play house, for example, they make believe. Let's play house, right? Let's make believe I'm the daddy. Let's make believe Denise is the mommy. Let's make believe John is the and John, Nancy, and Timothy. Let's make believe they're the children. Make believe. Living in the land of make believe, right? When children play superhero, they're living in the land of make believe. I remember when I was a little boy, I used to watch Superman. Okay, I believe the star's name back then was George Reeves, I believe it was, or something like that, right? And, look up in the sky. It's a bird, it's a plane. No, it's Superman, faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. See, it's still in my head. I remember all those lines because I watched it so much as a child. And I would make believe I was Superman. I'd tie a towel around my neck and stand on the foot of the bed and jump off like I'm flying until I sprained my ankle. And then I realized that make believe can hurt you. Okay? Yeah. Or think about the little girls, for example, who play with their dolls. Mm-hmm. And their doll houses, right? And they make believe they have a real baby, and then they came out with the little doll with the hole between the legs. So when you feed it the bottle, it pees on itself. Oh my God, so living in the land of make believe. So the little girls think they're making believe. They know it's not a real baby, but they're making believe it's a real baby. Then they're playing house. They make believe they're cooking dinner because they got the little toy teapot and the little toy frying pan and toy plates and everything. So they're making believe they're cooking dinner because they're playing house, right? You understand? They make believe they're doing hair when they got the doll and they're combing hair. They're making believe they're a beautician and they're doing hair. Living in the land of make believe. We grew up that way. When we were little boys, we play war games, right? And make believe that we shot each other. And we say, I shot you. And the other, your friend would say, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I shot you. And then, you have to play like you got shot. Oh, you going down and play, making believe you're dying, and you fall on the ground and you make believe you're dead. And we grew up living in the land of make believe, and then we're thinking going somewhere. We're going to go on a trip. Let's make believe we're going on a trip, right? So what happens? You take the chairs from the dinner table and you put them, 2 chairs here, and you're in your car now, right? And you make it believe you're driving down the highway, and you're driving, and I'm actually sitting there doing like this, like I'm actually holding a steering wheel, making believe, right? Okay, this is the land of make believe, y'all. What's really deep is when your passenger tells you, watch that car. And you say, I see it, you're living in the land of make believe, right? Oh man, so you make them believe, man, and that was fun. But now what's deep, brothers and sisters, is the elation. It's the ecstasy, it's the joy, the delight, the euphoria, the excitement, the exaltation, and the jubilation that we got from making believe that something is real, even though we knew it wasn't real. But it was still fun. It was fun enough to fulfill our delusion and keep us in the land of make-believe. Understand this, right? So brothers and sisters, understand how make-believe is more than child's play. However, make-believe is crucial to the development of creativity in children. It's crucial to the development of empathy in children. Make-believe is crucial to the development of learning and problem solving in our children. Yes, you see, in the land of make-believe, children are able to conquer their fears in the land of make-believe. In the land of make-believe, children are able to explore their hopes and achieve their dreams in the land of make-believe. The land of make-believe is a safe place to be for children to express themselves. Yes, y'all, many times it's in the land of make-believe that we're able to get children to reveal what they would never reveal in the real world. You understand? They have to go into their land of make-believe to give them a sense of boldness to say what they want to say. In one of my case studies, there was a little girl whose parents told her she was going to have a baby sister. Right? Follow this well now. They told her she was going to have a baby sister. So a couple of minutes after she was thinking about what she was told, she kind of slid down off the couch that she was sitting on, and she escaped into her world of make-believe. She slid off the couch and picked up her baby doll and threw it on the floor and stomped on the baby doll, right? And then she threw it across the room. Wham! It hit the wall and fell. She turned, looked at her parents with this big grin on her face and said, no more baby. Okay? You see her reaction? She had to resort to her land to make believe to how she really felt about this baby that was coming, because she could not say at her young age, I'm afraid I'm going to be replaced and you won't love me anymore, because that's really what her actions were saying. I'm afraid you're going to replace me. by telling me I'm going to have a baby sister. You know, she didn't have the words to express the powerful feelings that she was having, but she could express what she was feeling in her land of make-believe by throwing her baby doll across the room. Okay, and even with that, throughout her mother's entire pregnancy, she expressed what she was going through in her mind by living in her land of make-believe. She would put diapers on her doll baby, right? She would literally walk in her mother's shoes and stuff her doll baby up under her clothes to make believe she was pregnant, make believe she was pregnant like mommy was. You see, brothers and sisters, some children, okay, with more challenging lives play about illness. They play about death. They play about loss. They even play about being abused because they can't formulate what they're trying to say or what they want to say. So the land of make-believe is a very powerful and much needed vehicle of expression for children. Notice I said for children. But what happens when a child never outgrows living in the land of make-believe? What happens when an adult lives in the land of make-believe? See, what was cute for the child is now ugly for an adult, because this grown man, this grown woman is now living what I refer to as a psychosis. Brother Ray, what's a psychosis? A psychosis is a condition of the mind involving a loss of contact with reality. People experiencing a psychosis may have delusional beliefs and may exhibit personality changes and disorganized thinking, or what we refer to as thought disorder, when challenged. Like the brother that I was talking to, he began to go through what was called thought disorder. That's why his questions were coming so rapidly, one behind another, before I could answer one of them. See, thought disorder is often accompanied by unusual or bizarre behavior, as well as difficulty with social interaction under pressure. Let me educate you today and teach you on how to deal with people who are going through cognitive dissonance over something that you told them. You have a challenge of reaching that person, right? Let's understand what delusions are, okay? A psychosis may involve delusional beliefs. Notice I said delusional beliefs, okay? Some of which may be paranoid in nature, like the paranoia of going to hell. Right? Or the elation of going to heaven. I know some of y'all are having a problem there. What you trying to say, Brother Ray? We ain't going to hell, we ain't going to heaven. Brothers and sisters, understand, we've been taught concepts. Hear me, we've been taught concepts. Okay? I'll say it again. We've been taught concepts, not facts. All right? We've been taught concepts about this wonderful place called heaven, which in reality, the word heaven has nothing to do with a place in the sky or somewhere you're going to go when you die. Heaven has nothing to do with that. That's why the Bible actually says the kingdom of heaven is within you. Understand this. The word heaven comes from the word uranos. In fact, the phrase kingdom of heaven is the Greek phrase basileia e uranos, which means the way things ought to be. That's all it means. Has nothing to do with going up in the sky when you die. Okay, so this idea of going to heaven is a delusional belief. The whole idea of going to hell is a delusional belief that has instilled fear in people. And because of their fear, they can't hear the truth. Follow me, doggone it. Okay, because of fear-induced concepts, man, that got us messed up. They taught us this concept of a horrible place called hell, but they didn't give you the etymological meaning of the word hell. The word hell in the Bible, in the Old Testament, is the Hebrew word Sheol, S-H-E-O-L. Don't take my word for what I'm saying, write it down. The word Sheol, S-H-E-O-L, okay, only means the grave, the hole in the ground. In the New Testament, the word hell is the Greek word Hades. You probably call it Hades, but it's actually pronounced Hades, and it's spelled H-A-D. What is it? H-A, can't see it now in my head. H-A-D. Why can't I see it? Hades. H-A-D-E-S, I guess. Yeah, H-A-D-E-S. But it's pronounced Hades. That's what's throwing me off, the pronunciation here, right? Okay, it only means the hole in the ground. So when a person say, I'm going to hell, that means I'm going to be buried in the ground. That's all it means, y'all. It doesn't mean I'm going to a place that's burning with fire and brimstone. That's the concept that's been given to us. It's not the lake of fire. Let me teach you, brothers and sisters, the lake of fire. In fact, if you look it up in your Bible, the lake of fire is the word Gehenna. Gehenna. Write it down. Don't take my word for what I'm saying. Gehenna. 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 Where did that come from? Gehenna was a little town about 30 miles southeast of Jerusalem. And in Gehenna, there was a massive oil pit. Okay? And of course, this oil pit, that's where they burned garbage. It was like what you call that was their incinerator at that time. Okay, and they would throw all of the garbage from around the neighboring communities. They'd bring their garbage. It was the dump, right, where they dumped their refuse, the garbage, their bandages from infection, and their all the garbage, right, disease wrappings and all that kind of stuff would be thrown into this oil pit. And then they'd set the oil pit on fire and burn up everything. Well, back in that day, that was the most horrible form of death, to be incinerated in Gehenna. Okay, so when the writer wrote in the biblical text, you'll be cast into the lake of fire, that was what he was referring to. Understand this, family. There is no lake of fire. For real, it's a concept, okay, that was written in the biblical text based on this horrible place called Gehenna. Gehenna translates into the words lake of fire. Okay, I'm so glad that I was trained in everything that I grew up in. I'm so glad I was blessed to go to Bible college and in seminary so that I could master all of this information. Got me? Because the Almighty knew that I would have to free my people from this bondage of religious and biblical concepts and ideas. So the best way for me to deliver my people from it is know it myself. I have to know it first before I can set you free from it. You understand? So we have to understand how deep this thing is, man. We're dealing with delusional beliefs here. Some, like I said, which are paranoid in nature, the fear of hell or the joy of heaven. Those are delusional beliefs. And there are two types of delusional activity: primary delusional activity, and secondary delusional activity. Primary delusional activity is defined as behavior arising suddenly and and not being comprehensible in terms of normal mental processes. Okay, primary delusional activity is usually reactive activity. It happens in an immediate response to a thing, okay, that doesn't strike you right or whatever. Then you have secondary delusional activity, which is behavior that's influenced by a person's background, okay, or behavior that's experienced by a person's current situation, whether, such as their ethnic or sexual orientation, or their religious beliefs, or people that feel that that they are the cause of their present condition. Okay, that's called secondary delusional activity. Then you have this thing called cognitive dissonance or thought disorder. Okay, we describe thought disorder as an underlying disturbance, okay, or a disruption of conscious thought. It's manifested by its effects on a person's speech and body language. In other words, when a person is going through cognitive dissonance, oh my goodness, let me talk about this. When a person is going through cognitive dissonance, okay, their speech becomes more rapid, their breathing becomes more rapid, their body language becomes more expressive, okay, like the brother I met outside the bank. I mean, his arms started waving and everything. He started becoming a little bit more agitated in his speech and couldn't stand still, man, you know, okay? And people who are going through thought disorder or cognitive dissonance, and I'm sharing this with you so that when you recognize this, you'll know how to minister to it, okay? Don't get on the same level as the person you're trying to reach, okay? Take the high road, as we call it. Stay calm, okay? When others get disturbed about what you're saying or about what you're teaching, you stay calm. Ain't no need of you getting upset if you know you're telling the truth, right? Okay? So people who are going through thought disorder or cognitive dissonance usually manifest three main characteristics. One, pressure of speech. Like I said, they start speaking rapidly and incessantly. Don't stop talking. Right? Two, they go through what's called discussion derailment. Write that down. Discussion derailment. I want you to be able to recognize this. Discussion derailment. That is when a person switches the topic while you're in the middle of your sentence or while they're in mid-sentence. They'll actually say something to change the subject. Okay? Yeah, that's called discussion derailment. I can't handle what you're saying right now, so I want to kind of change the subject. You told me that, Jesus doesn't exist, or you told me that there's no such thing as heaven, and you want to derail the discussion. Man, where you get this stuff from? What kind of school did you go to? What does that got to do with what I said? Don't derail the discussion, okay? And then the third thing that people do is they do what's called thought blocking. Write it down. Thought blocking. Thought blocking is when people know where you're getting ready to go with a thing, okay? And they try to, what's the word I'm looking for? Intercept or prevent what you're about to say by coming up with something else to, okay? Thought blocking is called. I remember a person was telling me about a little girl who was watching their parents argue, right? And this little girl did both things. She did discussion derailment and thought blocking, all right? She went and grabbed her daddy by the leg, put her arm around daddy's leg, and said, "Daddy, I want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich." Right? That was her way of discussion derailment, trying to derail the argument. And not only that, but block what they were doing and put their mind on something else. People have a way of doing that, okay? When they're dealing with, delusional behavior. A lack of insight is another thing that many people suffer from. one important and puzzling feature of psychosis is usually the accompanying of a lack of insight into the nature of a person's behavior. Okay? Even in the case of an acute psychosis, people are usually completely unaware that their delusions are in any way unrealistic. Understand what I'm saying? When a person is going through this and they have a lack of insight, they honestly don't realize that their behavior is what it is. They don't realize that they are holding on to something that's unrealistic, but yet something in them disturbed them so much that they're about to be out of control, okay, because of a lack of insight on their part. There's this book that we use as psychologists and psychotherapists and psychiatrists, as mind physicians. This manual is referred to as the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, okay? Or we call it the DSM-5. In the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, it says that a delusion is a fixed belief that is either false or derived from deception. Did y'all get that? A delusion is a fixed belief. It's fixed. Think about that. How many times you heard folks say, my mind is fixed? My heart is fixed and my mind is made up. They got a fixed belief, okay, that is derived from a deception. An illusion, according to the manual, is a belief based on false or incomplete information. Brothers and sisters, hear me well. Hear me well, because I've had to deal with this so much. Okay? Hear this. In fact, you may want to write this down. The most powerful and most effective psychopathology is the belief in something simply because you want or need it to exist. All right? I want you to think back to the brother that I met outside the bank now, right? When I asked him, why do you have a need for Jesus to have existed? And that was it. When I asked him that question, because he's our hope, man. He started waving his arms and everything. I thought he wanted to fight, because he's our hope. Without him, we're lost. He said, without him, ain't none of this real. Ain't none of this real, he's saying, right? Again, the most powerful and most effective psychopathology is the belief in something simply because you want it to exist or you need it to exist. It's not real, but you need for it to be real. It's not real, but you want it to be real. It's like the song we used to sing in church. I get joy when I think about what he's done for me. You know how many times we shouted off that song? We tore the house down off that song. I get joy when I think about what he done for me. Okay, now I agree. You should get happy when you think about things that the Almighty has done for you. But we weren't talking about God. We were talking about Jesus. You see? I say it again, write it down. The most powerful and most effective psychopathology is the belief in something simply because you want it to exist or you need it to exist because you don't know what you would do without it. Our condition exists because the programmers, created the lie. Understand this, brothers and sisters. They fabricated a lie. And then they psychologically induced the belief in their lie. And then they glorified their lie. They glamorized their lie in such a way that it would create within us a desire for its existence. Did you get what I just said, family? Okay? Number one, they created the lie. Two, then they induced belief in the lie for the masses, right? Then they glorified their lie to the masses. Then they glamorized their lie to the masses. And they glamorized their lie, did these four things in such a way and made it so effective that it literally creates in people who don't know any better a desire for its existence. When I asked that brother, why do you need for Jesus to have existed? He didn't even know that his psychopathology demanded the existence of Jesus. He didn't know that. And the demand for the existence of what he was taught, what he had been made to believe, was so strong in him that he honestly could not imagine what would happen to him if Jesus did not exist. So, like some of you watching, perhaps. Okay? Understand this, man. And when you have that kind of psychopathology, you will do whatever you have to do to maintain your land of make-believe, or you would do whatever you have to do to maintain your psychopathology, even if it means disfellowshipping your loved ones, even if it means not having anything else to do with your listen, y'all, I have had married couples go through trauma all over the knowledge of the truth. I've had wives say to their husbands, if you start talking this stuff, this African stuff, and talking about Jesus don't exist, I'm leaving you, I'm divorcing you. I've had people come for counseling over this thing, man. I've had men in tears. Doc, what am I going to do? My wife won't even sleep in the same room with me because I listened to African conscious teaching. Brothers and sisters, this stuff is deep. Understand what I mean when I say the truth is unbelievable. The truth cannot be believed because the knowledge of the truth will make you free from the land of make-believe. Oh my goodness, some of y'all is listening to me right now, right? How many of y'all are willing to bear witness to what I just said? How many of you watching right now are willing to testify that you have been delivered from the land of make-believe? If you're willing to testify, just put it in the comments section so I can see it when I go back and read the comments. Go ahead and type it. I'm free from the land of make-believe. Write it there. I don't live in the land of make-believe no more. Okay? Yeah, go ahead and testify. You can testify by typing yes. If you've been delivered from the land of make-believe, then share that story. Let us know. All right? Let other folk know that you're no longer walking in the land of make-believe. Because you realize that Africa and Africans must be free. Yeah. I put a song together entitled Africa and Africans Must Be Free. And the refrain are these words. Let's see, there's somehow stuff just slips my mind, okay? The knowledge of the truth will make us free. That's how Africans ought to be. Walking every day with right knowledge in our mind. The knowledge of the truth will make us free. That's how Africans ought to be. Living every day in the power of our might. Okay? I'm going to sing it for you. All right? And I want you to understand this. And then we'll bring this to an end today. All right? But I love this groove. Okay? And I hope you like it too. Oh, yes. Stop living in the land of make-believe. Free your mind. Goes like this. Oh, yeah, yeah. I wish I knew how it would feel to be free. I wish I could break all the chains that's holding me. I wish I could say all the things I want to say. I'd say them loud and I'd say them clear for the whole world to hear. The knowledge of the truth will make us free. That's how Africans ought to be. Walking every day with right knowledge in our mind. The knowledge of the truth will make us free. That's how Africans ought to be. Living every day in the power of our mind. Listen, I wish I could share all the love that's in my heart. I'd remove all the things that keep us apart. I wish you could know what it means to be me. Then you'd see and agree that every African should be free. Knowledge of the truth will make us free. That's how Africans ought to be. Walking every day with right knowledge in our mind. The knowledge of the truth will make us free. That's how Africans ought to be. Living every day in the power of. Listen, I wish I could give all the things that I could give. I wish that I could live like I'm longing to live. I wish I could do all the things that I can do, even though it's way overdue. I'd be starting anew. Will make us free. That's how Africans ought to be. Walking every day with right knowledge in our mind. The knowledge of the truth will make us free. That's how Africans ought to be. Living every day in the power of our might. Listen, I wish I could fly like a bird in the sky. Oh, how sweet it would be if I found out I could fly. I'd soar to the sun and look down at the sea. Then I'd sing because I know what it feels like to be free. The knowledge of the truth will make us free. That's how Africans ought to be. Walking every day with right knowledge in our mind. The knowledge of the truth will make us free. That's how Africans ought to be. Living every day in the power. Let me say it again. I wish we could fly like birds in the sky. Oh, how sweet it would be if we found out that we could fly. We'd soar to the sun and look down at the sea. Then we'd sing because we'd know what it feels like to be free. The knowledge of the truth will make us free. That's how Africans ought to be. Yeah, with right knowledge in our mind. The knowledge of the truth will make us free. That's how Africans ought to be. Living every day in the power of our mind. Oh, the knowledge of the truth will make us free. That's how Africans ought to be. Walking every day with right knowledge in our mind. The knowledge of the truth will make us free. That's how Africans ought to be living every day in the power. Oh, the knowledge of the truth will make us free. That's how Africans ought to be. Walking every day with right knowledge in our mind. The knowledge of the truth will make us free. That's how Africans ought to be. Living every day in the power of our might. The knowledge of the truth will make us free. That's how Africans ought to be. Walking every day with right. Listen, repeat after me. Come on. I gotta be free. You and me. We must be free. Africa and Africans must be free. We gotta be free. You and me. We must be free. Africa and Africans must be free. We gotta be free. You and me. Oh, we must be free. Africa and Africans, yeah. We gotta be free. You and me. We must be free. Africa and Africans must be free. Gotta be free. Oh, you and me. Yeah. Oh, we must be free. Africa and Africans. Now say this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Oh, we must be free. Africa and Africans must be free. Yeah, brothers and sisters. Gotta be free. Yeah. Must be free. Africa and Africans must be free. Yes, brothers and sisters. Gotta be free. I trust that you've enjoyed the teaching today. Okay, and I trust you enjoyed that song also. And again, I own the rights to that. That's yours truly. Okay. Oh my goodness, brothers and sisters, we got to be free. That's what I live for, to free the minds of African people all over the world. That's what I get up out of the bed for every day. That's why I eat food, to keep my body strong, so that I can carry out my assignment of freeing the minds of my people, delivering them from the lies that have been glorified, that they are so attached to. Yeah. Yeah, family. Man, we got work to do. I got work to do, okay? Well, listen, it's time for us to bring this to an end today. And I want to give you the opportunity, family, to share of your substance. Okay, I forgot to copy this and put it so I could put it on. So just bear with me here. I want to be sure that you get. My goodness, where is it? Where did I do with it? Okay, here. And if Dr. Herndon is watching, you can go ahead and post the donation information as well. Okay. Yeah, man. I don't see my file here. Yeah. Here we go. Let me place this here for those of you who want to make a donation to help us. And again, brothers and sisters, I thank you so very much for making your donations to help us with our work. Okay, yeah, and we're going to put that there for you to. So those of you who want to make your donations, you can do so at this time. All right, by let's see, did I put it in the right place there? Let's see. Yes. Okay. You can make your donations, as you see there, to paypal.com. Okay. If you're using PayPal, our PayPal address, as you see there, is African Village 1, at AOL.com. If you want to make your PayPal, your donation through Cash App, our Cash App is # Dr. Ray Hagins, and be sure to use 1G to spell my name. All right. And if you're making a donation through Zelle, all right, please feel free to do that as well with my email address, rayhagins@gmail.com. All right. And of course, I welcome your comments. If you want to write to me, please feel free to use my email address and do so. All right. And even those of you who have a problem with what I said today and you're disturbed by what I said, again, family, okay, my job is to bring knowledge to you. Got me? Facts to you, not doctrine, not concepts, not ideas or human opinion, but the truth. So when I share what I share with you, I know many of you have a problem with it. And trust me, I can understand that because I gave people hell, okay, who used to try to enlighten me. So I understand. I was that committed to what I grew up believing in. All right. And if I heard somebody say something other than what I believed to be the truth, oh, man, it was on. You know, in fact, I used to have a newsletter called The Contender. Right. And in my newsletter, I would actually, in fact, I tried to do what was called apologetics in my newsletter. That is proving your point. That's what apologetics is. OK, it's not so much getting factual evidence for your point, but it's using the glorified lies, okay, of course, apologetics and theology, that is, to prove your point. You follow me? Okay, but once my eyes came open to the truth, man, you know, like it or not, I had to let it go. And maybe some of you out there can't let go. You know, I understand that. You know, I understand. I've talked to ministers, I've talked to pastors who said to me, Doc, I know you telling the truth, Doc. I know something ain't right about this. I know it ain't, Doc. But what am I going to do, man? I got a family to take care of. I've had preachers say that to me. Okay? When you're I'm so glad I was never under that kind of pressure. You know, okay? I had my own music company. I did clinical work as a counselor. You know, when I got my master's in counseling. You see, even before I got my doctorate, I was doing clinical work. So that's where I was making my money. Got me? All these years, this makes, oh my goodness, what? 48 years in ministry for me. 48 years in ministry. In the 48 years of ministry, I had never received a salary for it. Oh yes, I've received donations and people put money in my hand and stuff like that. But to get a salary, my ministry was never big enough to give me a salary. We had other expenses like television costs and radio costs and things like that, you know. That was more important to me than getting the message out there. I could make money, so I wasn't worried about that. You see? And even now, brothers and sisters, okay, I'm so glad I'm not under the pressure of having to succumb to financial pressure and pay my bills and have to succumb to what people want me to say. I'm so glad I don't have to do that, man. Woo. That's why I wrote the song, So Glad I Can Be Myself. And I mean it. Wow, family, your donations are coming in. Thank you. Thank you, Dwayne. And thank you, Sharon. Oh, my goodness, man. Thank you guys for making your donations to help us here. The donations are coming in. And you guys are just wonderful. You know, you guys are so wonderful. Thank you so much. You know, I don't have the words to express my appreciation to you. Okay, because of your support, I'm able to do this without stressing myself of how I'm going to make it from day to day, you know, or how the village is going to pay its bills. Yeah, you know. Thank you, family. Thank you so much. Continue to spread the word of our work. Share the video, create a watch party. All right, get the word out. In the meantime, it's time for me to get out of here. It is 1:30. I try to end around 1:30 or 12:30 your time, wherever you are. I try to end at this time instead of keeping you too long. All right. So again, I pray that you got something out of the teaching today. All right, stop living in the land of make believe. And a lot of y'all who living in the land of make believe, you know you living in the land of make believe because you know the stuff you believe don't even make sense. You know it doesn't make sense. You know that it's not. You know there's no such thing as somebody taking 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread and feeding almost 10,000 people with it. And you say, well, Brother Ray knows 5,000 people. No, the Bible says it's 5,000 men. That's not including women and children. Okay? So when you include the families, you're talking very, very probably over 10,000 people here. 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. And then y'all get into this. You know it doesn't make sense. So then what you do is you resort to this thing. Well, ain't nothing too hard for God. Come on, people. Come on. Stop it. Stop it. Our young people deserve better than that. It's time for us to give them the truth. That's why Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes put in the song, wake up, everybody, time to teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen to what you have to say, because young people today ain't listening to that program no more, y'all. That's why your churches are drying up. That's why that's why, and even some of y'all who, and I'm not saying this to attack you, but look at your analytics. Look at your analytics each week. Monitor how many listeners and viewers you have. Okay? If all you have is 15 or 20 viewers and yet you're streaming to the whole world, that should tell you something. That should tell you something right there, man. After a whole week goes by, you don't even have a good 100 viewers or listeners, except the folk in your church. That should tell you something. That means you need to do something about your message, because it's not working anymore. Okay, let me get ready to get out of here. I want you guys to know that I mer each of you. Mer, M-E-R. That is the ancient Nile Valley word, okay, using English characters, of course, for the English word love. Got me? Our ancient African word is mer, M-E-R. I mer you. And mer is not a selfish kind of love. It is the love that cultivates the other person. That's why the symbol of mer is a hoe that you till the soil with. You got me? Yeah, I see a couple more donations came. Thank you, guys. Gerald, thank you. Okay. Mark, thank you. Thank you guys, man. Wow. I love it. I love it. You know, it encourages me to see that you want that. The very fact that you go in your pocket and share of your substance, as the old folks used to say, your hard-earned money. The fact that you share your hard-earned money with what I'm doing to help us keep going, lets me know, man, that is so encouraging to me. Because you don't have to do it. You know, and I'm going to teach whether you give or not. You know why? If I have to pay for it myself, I'm going to teach, because that's my passion. That's my assignment. But the very fact that you guys help out means everything to me. Yeah, it means everything. And I mer you for supporting this work. Oh, brothers and sisters. Okay, it's time to go. I want you guys to have a wonderful day. Okay, wherever you are, enjoy the rest of your day. Continue to stay safe. Please don't stop keeping your immune system strong. Okay, they're out here promoting vaccines. Well, I can't tell you, and I won't tell you not to take the vaccine. I can't tell you, and I won't tell you to take the vaccine. All right? I'm not going to do that. That's not my place. What is my place, okay, as a teacher of African liberation and one who truly cares about the life of his people, okay, what I will tell you is I will try to educate you on the dangers of the vaccine. All right? There's nothing good in it, family. And for those of you who have already taken it, I pray for you. I do. I pray that you'll be okay. because I'm sure, I no doubt in my mind, I'm sure that when you took the vaccine, or if you decide to take the vaccine, I'm sure that you won't know what's being put in your arm or wherever they're injecting you with it. Okay? I can tell you this. Brother Ray won't be getting no vaccine. You can, hey, listen, as they say, you can take that to the bank. Okay? Because I've done the research. I know what's in it. Okay? My colleagues who are physicians, okay, who are not taking the vaccine because they know what's in it. You see? But they can't tell you not to vaccine. They can't tell you don't take it because, you know, they don't want to lose their jobs or their positions. You see? So, yeah. They don't want to be, they still want to remain a part of the staff of the medical center and what have you. See, I don't have that problem. Okay? I can say it. I'm not going to lose my job. You got what I'm saying? Okay. All right. Let's sing. You know, so yeah, I don't want to beat that dead horse there. Okay, well, it's not a dead horse because it's still here and it's still kicking. So, family, the vaccine that I recommend, I do recommend a vaccine. Okay, but it's all natural. I recommend 10,000 milligrams of vitamin C. I've been saying this for the longest. 10,000 milligrams of vitamin C. Okay, preferably with rose hips in it. All right. 5,000 milligrams or international units of vitamin D3. Preferably with K2 in it. All right. If you can't get it with K2, just D3 is better than no D3. All right. Yeah. And 5,000 milligrams. I'm sorry, not 5,000, 50 milligrams of zinc. Okay. Every day. Plenty of water. Yeah. All right. And plenty of rest. Yes, family. That's the vaccine I recommend. Vitamin C, vitamin D3, and zinc. Okay? And there are other things you can take, of course, and other things to build your immune system. Echinacea, elderberry, golden seed. You can take all this stuff, man, you know? Okay? What's this stuff? Sea moss. You can do all that. You know, there's a whole lot of natural things you can take, all right, to build your immune system up. But that's key right now. I want to see you guys survive this monster. I've lost friends, okay? People I've known for years. And of course, the hospitals are saying it's from COVID. People aren't dying from heart attacks now. You know that, right? Everything is COVID. People are not having strokes no more. People not having, you know, car accidents. Folk are not dying. Everything is COVID now. Yeah, and of course, you know that doesn't make sense either, right? Okay, let's get ready to get out of here by lifting our voices together and singing "You're Easy to Love." The African in me, love the African in you. When we come together, ain't nothing we can't do, yeah. Oh, yes. You're easy to love. All right, let's close out with this, y'all. Again, thank you for supporting the work. Thank you for the donations that's coming in. Wow, y'all. Thank you. Come on, everybody. The African in me loves the African in you. When we come together, ain't nothing we can't do. 'Cause you're easy. You're easy. Easy to love. Yeah. You're easy to love. Come on, let's do it again. The African in me. We love the African in you. When we come together, there ain't nothing we can't do. 'Cause you're easy. You're easy. Easy to love. I see the thank yous. You're welcome, family. The honor was mine to teach you the truth. The blackness in me. But the blackness in you. When we come together, ain't nothing we can't do. Thank you, Dr. Herndon, for helping me today, as always. You're easy. Yeah, you're easy to love. You're easy to love. How about the spirit in me? Spirit in me. Love the spirit in you. When we come together, ain't nothing we can't do. Cause you're easy. Yeah, 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 you're easy. Oh, you're so easy. You're easy to love. Yes, you're easy to love. Come on. How about the truth that's in me? Come on. The truth that's in me. Love the truth that's in you. When we come together, there ain't nothing we can't do. Cause you're easy. Yeah, 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 you're easy. Oh, you're easy to love. The justice that's in me loves the justice that's in you. Come on, everybody. Justice in me loves the justice in you. When we come together, ain't nothing we can't do. Easy. African Village of St. Louis, I love you guys. African Village of New York, I love you guys. African Village of Detroit, I love you. African Village of Chicago, I love you. African Village of Youngstown, Ohio, I love you. I admire all of you. African Village of Memphis, Tennessee, I love you. African Village of Charleston, South Carolina, I love you. My friends down in Florida, down in South America, down in the Virgin Islands, around the country, around the world, I admire all of you. Yeah, you're easy to love. Oh my goodness. Let's close out with the African in me. Love the African in you. When we come together, ain't nothing we can't do. The African in me. Love the African in you. When we come together, ain't nothing we can't do. Cause you're easy. You're easy. Until next week, family, you guys stay strong, stay safe, stay healthy. All right? Peace.